Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory to you, O Lord.
At that time, the disciples came to Jesus and asked, "Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" He called a child, whom he put among them, and said, "Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Whoever becomes humble like this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Whoever welcomes one such child in my name welcomes me. If any of you put a stumbling block before one of these little ones who believe in me, it would be better for you if a great millstone were fastened around your neck and you were drowned in the depths of the sea. Woe to the world because of stumbling blocks. Occasions for stumbling are bound to come, but woe to the one by whom the stumbling block comes. If your hand or your foot causes you to stumble, cut it off and throw it away. It is better for you to enter life maimed or lame than to have 2 hands or 2 feet and to be thrown into the eternal fire. And if your eye causes you to stumble, tear it out and throw it away. It is better for you to enter life with 1 eye than to have 2 eyes and to be thrown into the hell of fire." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, O Christ.
Please be seated. In the name of our Lord Jesus, Amen.
Amen.
Well, as Mary was reading that text, I have to ask you, does Jesus have your attention yet? Has he grabbed you by the shoulders? And because so often we kind of have this idea of sweet Jesus, meek and mild, and at the same time, we also have looked at this and said, wow, this is obviously a case where we don't believe in the inerrant and infallible Bible, because we'd be walking around without hands and without feet and without other body parts because of all the offenses that are caused. But at the same time, let this text sink in for you. Because Jesus is not saying this lightly. Jesus takes sin very, very seriously. Just prior to this gospel story, Jesus has declared and announced to his disciples that he is heading to Jerusalem and that more than likely he's going to die there. He tells his disciples to pick up their cross and to follow him. And what do the disciples automatically start to do? I mean, so incredibly clueless, like us. And they start to argue. They start to argue about who's going to get first-class seats in the kingdom of God. Who is going to have the best seats at the table? Who's going to get to wear purple? Who's going to have upgrades in their hotel rooms because they are the followers of Jesus? They are so obsessed with being great. They even ask him, Jesus, who is going to be the greatest in the kingdom? And the way that sentence is written, it's reflexive. It's like, which one of us is going to be the greatest? And Jesus takes a child. Now, we kind of have a thing for children. We love children in our society, but in Jesus' society, children were literally expendable. They were the lowest. So Jesus sets the child in the midst of them, kind of like a little children's sermon, but the child is the object of the children's sermon, and says, will you guys please get it? Unless you can become like this child, none of you are even going to enter the kingdom of heaven, not to mention who's going to be the greatest. Be like this child. Be innocent. Be open. Be humble. But then, interestingly enough, as though that wasn't enough, Jesus shifts And the object becomes something different. A warning. Now, we're usually pretty good, aren't we, about kind of labeling sins. If our society were to rank the greatest, the worst of all the sins, sexual sins would really rank up there, wouldn't they? They're the ones that usually really set people off, really get people's blood boiling, really get pious Christians all riled up. Adultery, sexuality, anything that has to do with that, whoa, back off. That's sin. Or lying. Any of the 10 Commandments. But notice what sets Jesus off. In this incredibly harsh word from Jesus. What's the worst sin? If you are to cause one of these little ones to stumble, if you were to cause one of these little ones, and the word in Greek is micron, little one means not just a child, but a vulnerable one. A micron is someone in society that's incredibly fragile, that can be hurt. Someone that if you were to cause them to stumble, the hurt that you would cause them would be almost irreparable. Now, it can be children, but it can also be like people who are new to the faith. And stumbling is not just causing them to sin, but it's hurting them. If they are to stub their toe on you, woe to you! You want to rank the sins, says Jesus? Then let me rank number 1 for you. You have all of these vulnerable people in your lives, vulnerable people that you run into all the time. Woe to you! It would be better for you if you had a millstone tied around your neck and you were thrown into the sea. It would be better for you to cut off your hand, or pluck out your eye, or cut off your foot, than to cause or to be the stumbling block for one of these little ones. We don't usually rank that one very high, do we? Shows you how well we don't listen to Jesus. But Jesus takes sin very seriously. Not just the big sins. Not just those sins that would make us worry whether we're going to get into heaven or not. Why is he worried about the little ones? Because he knows that these are the sins, these are the hurts, these are the breaks that happen in everyday life. Every day, hour to hour, minute by minute. These are the things that are happening all around us. And these are the things that cause hurt and harm and pain and heartbreak. Now, all around us. You can fast from chocolate. Great. Or butter, or eggs, or meat, or whatever you want to fast from. But if you're going to listen to Jesus, what you really need to do is to fast from saying things that hurt things that reach into vulnerable people's hearts. And like a toxin or a poison, bring them down. Linda has a great little saying in her office. I'm not exactly sure where it comes from. But think about this, because I think that it really fits with what Jesus is really trying to get through to us tonight. What true sin looks like. It says, before you speak, ask yourself if what you are going to say, ask yourself this: is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Is it helpful? Let me say those again. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? And is it helpful? Like my grandma used to say, if the answer is no, she used to say, Wes, if you can't say something good, then breathe through your nose. Maybe what we need to do is fast from hurting the little ones, the vulnerable ones, the ones at risk that may or may not necessarily look like they're small. To worry, to be aware, to be intentional. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Is it helpful?